YouTube. I'm back. I know it's been a really long time. I want to thank you guys who subscribed, for watching my videos. Those of you who have even still recently found me, which is incredible. Thank you also for subscribing, watching my videos. I haven't gone for a while, so this video is really just like an update of a recap of who I am. What do I even do? So, for starters, my name is Darrius Glenn. I am now 30 years old. I've been a registered nurse for 6 years. I went to a community college and then I bridged it with a concurrent enrollment program, also known as CEP. And for those of you who don't know, that means you're partnered up with the university as well. So some of the university choices were like Upper Iowa, who I was with. By the way, I'm in Arizona. I know. There's Ottawa, there's Arizona State, U of A, and Northern Arizona University. So you kind of do like your core nursing stuff at your community college and then all the boring BS paper writing with the university. So that's kind of how that worked, and that's the path that I took. So out of school, I immediately went into ICU and I did some IR. And so the way that story kind of worked, in case those of you who are interested, who are afraid that you can't go straight into ICU or afraid to even do something like that, the way it goes for me or how it worked for me was I am the kind of person who was like an adrenaline rush kind of person. I want to get my hands on stuff. I want really, really sick people. So during school, I had a rotation at St. Joe's for Barrow Neurological Institute, also known as BNI, very, very, very specialized neurological institute, and I had a clinical there. So in their ICU, I gravitated towards that one specifically because, one, the staff was great, and what they were doing though, really big on brain injury, stroke, spinal cords, and what really captivated me really was they had something called EVDs, and those are drains that you place in the skull, essentially, from a craniotomy. Basically, when there's too much, your brain is really small, okay? There's not a lot of space in there, or the cavity. So when there's swelling or fluid that doesn't belong there, you craniotomy, remove part of the skull, create a bone flap to relieve the pressure so your brain is not squished. Sometimes fluid like hemorrhaging blood, right? CSF fluid, that if there's too much of that, we have to drain it. So we're putting in these EVD drains to help decrease the fluid, the pressure in the brain. And I thought that was incredible. And the fact that they could even do a bedside just kind of blew my mind. And I was like, whoa, that's really cool. So while in school, I meet with the charge nurse, or I'm sorry, she is the manager of the floor. And I was like, hey, I really, really would like to work here. And after talking to her, she says, all right, as long as you pass your NCLEX, you have a job here. So I kind of knew that I already had a job. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. Now we just got to pass NCLEX. So I ended up working there. Great experience. Worked there for a year. And after that, I transferred to another Dignity Health hospital, Chandler Regional. And I worked in their medical ICU because on the neuro floor, it was so specialized, I was missing the other parts of the body system. And I was like, I want more. So I go to transfer to the medical ICU where I can kind of get like more diseases, traumas, all that kind of stuff. So that was great. But I was there for 4 months. Staff was amazing. Hospital was amazing. But I got another opportunity in the ICU at a Honor Health Osborne. And I had a clinical rotation there as well. And I really, really, really wanted to work there. So I just kind of messing around. I applied. They contacted me the next day. And I was like, whoa. Get an interview, get hired there. And I was like, okay, super excited. I give them the credit. That hospital specifically, though, I would say they're the ones who really sculpted me to be super detailed and become a fantastic ICU nurse. Like the way they kind of ran things, they're a tight ship. You couldn't just take care of your patients and give a report. They quiz you every shift. Like the charges come around. Why are we doing this? Why are we giving this drug? And X, Y, and Z. And I was like, wow, like it was scary at first, and then I really, really appreciated it. So after that, a year later, COVID hits, and I'm like, oh, okay. So obviously during COVID, They're offering nurses a ton of money. So I kind of jumped on that train as well. And so I took a local contract with the hospital here in Arizona first. And then after 3 months there, I take a contract in Austin, Texas. In Texas, the hospital was beautiful. Staff was beautiful. The way it was ran was beautiful. Everything about it was amazing. I was obsessed with Texas. And so I was in their ICU, and I even considered moving there. I didn't for other reasons, unfortunately. And so while I was in Texas, I come back down for a wedding, and at the wedding, I sit across from this table, or I sat at the table across from this couple, husband and wife, and we're talking, like just small talk, and then he's like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm a registered nurse." And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm in management for this one company. We're starting an IR department, so they don't have it yet, but they're starting it up," and that piques my interest right away. He says that they're innovative, also piqued my interest. I'm like, huh, okay. I fly back to Texas. I'm on Indeed, and I'm just messing around, and the company pops up again. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I'm like, screw it. I email the guy, and I get in contact, and then come down for an interview, and I'm like, okay, I win either way, because either I get hired at this really cool company in interventional radiology, which, by the way, I wanted to do for a long time, is on my list of things that I wanted to do, or I get to keep my contract extension in Austin. So either way, I was happy. I end up getting the job, so I leave Texas after I finish my first contract, cancel the second one, leave Texas, come back to Arizona, and I get to start, like, I am with this company before our doors are even open. We're running policies, procedures, we're going to the store, buying equipment. Super fun, exciting, the people are amazing. Also to note that the outpatient care for me it's obviously different than acute care, but the outpatient care is, for me, like the way to go. Outpatient nursing is fantastic. It can, everyone, each their own. For me, I was able to develop closer relationships with my coworkers, who I honestly would call like family at this point. The patients, the relationships I was able to create with them, flipping amazing, outstanding. Like in the acute care hospital, especially in the ICU, it's like if I developed a relationship, it was with more of the family members. Of course, the patient is 9 or 10 times intubated, too sick. So to develop relationships with the coworkers, with the patient and their family members, that was like another side of care that I didn't even know was there, that you don't really get to experience in the acute care setting. So that's going great. So I was working there for 3 years. In that company, it's called Invita. And so Invita is a very, very unique company. For those who don't know, Arizona is a right to try state. So they specialize in cancer and Lyme disease. So typically, right, when someone gets diagnosed with cancer, they go to their MD Anderson's or Cancer Center Treatments of America, the big companies, because you think chemo radiation. This company, and with how Arizona is, Invita, people usually go to them for like 2 reasons, basically, when it comes to cancer. They either go to them because they were diagnosed with cancer, and they immediately are like, no, we're not going to put ourselves through chemo and radiation. We have to find an alternative. Or they're diagnosed with cancer in the past. They've gone through chemo and radiation, and they beat it, or it's just getting worse, and they want to find an alternative. So they find a company like Invita, and that company is unique in the sense that patients do receive chemo, but only at like a 10% of the dose. So your body is not pumped with 100% of chemo. The patients don't even look sick. They're not losing their hair. They look healthy, even though they're battling cancer. And then in conjunction with that, they are getting natural infusions with their cancer treatments if they are getting cancer. And they show up to the clinic 5 days a week. It's like a full-time job. 5 days a week for weeks, months sometimes. And so that's their treatment plan. And so that's one half of the company. And the half I'm on is the interventional radiology side, which is on that side. Some patients, depending on their disease process, will have to come to our side, and we can get directly to the tumor site. So we can inject it with certain medications to help kill the tumor, cryoablations to freeze the tumor, osteocools for bone cancer, probes in, heat up to like 180 degrees to kill the bone cancer. We can go like liver, pancreas, intravascularly or intraarterially, and we can get to the tumors through that route. Also deliver medications, embolize the supply, the blood flow that's supplying the tumor growth to help starve the tumor. So it's essentially starving it while you're giving it specific medications for that patient. So not everyone is there on the same protocol. So if you have one person getting two people, I guess, diagnosed with lung cancer, they're not going to get the same treatment. It's not a standardized care. It's specialized. It's individualized care. So that is what I found extremely unique to Envita. Also, because it's Arizona, throughout the tri-state, we can do things like this. So the whole concept was really intriguing, really great. So I was there for 3 years, but I found myself getting to a point where I'm kind of hitting a ceiling and I want more growth opportunity. Unfortunately, they weren't able to provide me with that growth opportunity at the time. So I had to seek another place for other opportunities. So I ended up finding another interventional radiology clinic, and that facility, outpatient, unfortunately, it didn't go as planned. So I was kind of promised all these great things, everything I wanted to hear, what I was looking for, and I was super excited. And I left my previous company for this new company, and the new company was the complete opposite of the beautiful home, working relationship that I had with my previous company at Envita. Starting the new company, it's not very good, to say it. Just to sum it up, just not a good place. So after 6 months, I ended up leaving, and I just started a new job literally 1 week ago. So from the time of this filming. So just to give you an idea before I get into the details of the new job, I've always been business oriented, entrepreneur like business. And you're probably wondering, well, why are you in nursing? So I was taking classes in college for business because that's what I wanted to do. Wear dress clothes, carry suitcase, business decisions, whatever. Briefcase. And so my parents, because I didn't have a clear plan after the first year, my parents were like, well, maybe you should get into healthcare for job security. So I'm like, whatever, I do. I narrowed it down to nursing and dental hygienist. Obviously, I chose nursing. Extremely glad I did, because nursing has so many opportunities. Super grateful that I did that. But over the years, I've been finding myself like, okay, this is great. Like I've traveled, I've gone to different ICUs, run these things, but I still am finding myself wanting to leave nursing. So at the last company I was just at, because I wanted to leave out of there so bad, I'm like, well, maybe I'll just leave nursing in general. And so I got an offer to sell health insurance. I thought interviewing for a director at this memory care facility, but I was like, don't know much about memory care. I got offered to be a financial advisor, which, by the way, I would love to be, but the company that wanted me, they had the best reputation, so I turned that down. Thankfully, I ended up getting an opportunity to become a clinical liaison, which is what I just started. So this current position I just started is, I'll get into this position in the next video. It's very unique. I'm extremely excited about it. Excited to tell you guys all about it. That's kind of my crazy journey on where I've been, what I'm doing now, what I'm up to. So bear with me, guys. I'm gonna try to make more videos again. I find this fun. I want to thank you guys again for subscribing, watch my videos. Feel free to message me with any questions. Of course, I love that. And I know in the past I wasn't that best at getting back to responses, but I will do much better this time. So until next time, guys, I'll see you soon.